Carla snaps at Becky in Coronation Street and swears she'll take her down. Lisa had finally come to terms with letting go of the grief over her late wife and decided it was time to move forward with Carla. The pair had settled into a new house, adjusting to family life with Lisa's daughter Betsy and Carla's nephew Ryan. It looked like the two were heading toward a peaceful future together, aside from the odd squabble with neighbor David Platt about recycling. Then Becky Swain appeared, very much alive despite being presumed dead. There had always been unanswered questions about her supposed passing, which Lisa had tried in vain to uncover. Becky, a fellow police officer, was under investigation for misconduct and was believed to have been killed in a hit-and-run while pursuing a suspect. Her funeral had been surprisingly muted, without the usual honors given to an officer in service. In short, it never added up. And indeed, it had all been an elaborate cover story. While Lisa and Betsy mourned her, Becky had been hiding overseas, faking her death to escape dangerous people who threatened her and her loved ones. For Lisa, the revelation was devastating. Her entire world was overturned, and if Becky expected forgiveness and an easy return to the family, Lisa was far from ready to give it. Betsy, though shaken, was mostly overjoyed to have her mum back. Carla, however, was caught in an awful dilemma. Aware of how much Lisa had adored Becky and how deeply she had mourned her, Becky's sudden reappearance left Carla rattled. She wanted to believe her bond with Lisa was strong enough, but with Becky back, doubts began to creep in. In the coming episodes, Betsy arranges a lunch with Becky, and Carla tries to remain composed for Betsy's sake. Yet when Becky casually takes a bite from Lisa's plate, Carla is quietly enraged at the familiar gesture. Becky insists she only craves a bit of normal life, but Carla loses her temper. She snaps that what Becky is really after isn't normality at all, accuses both women of fooling themselves, and storms out. Carla then heads to the police station where she confides in Kit that she doesn't buy Becky's explanation and suspects a bigger secret is being concealed. But is Carla onto something? And will Kit back her up in uncovering the truth? Bethany's Coronation Street return storyline finally revealed, and she's broken the law. The last time viewers saw Bethany was back in February. At that point, the much-loved character had been through a harrowing ordeal following a liposuction procedure she underwent in Turkey. What was meant to be a confidence-boosting operation spiraled into disaster, leaving Bethany fighting for her life when she contracted sepsis during the surgery. The complications meant she had to live with a permanent stoma bag, something that took a huge toll on her self-esteem. As she tried to adjust to her new reality, Bethany leaned on familiar faces for support. She found comfort in rekindling her romance with Daniel Osborne, with the couple even taking the big step of getting engaged. But happiness was short-lived. Daniel, never fully over his feelings for ex-fiancée Daisy Midgley, soon found himself caught in a tangled web of emotions. One reckless night between Daniel and Daisy led to a shocking twist when Daisy later discovered she was pregnant. And with Kit Green also in the picture, the paternity was left hanging in the balance. Just as Bethany thought her life was back on track and announced that she and Daniel had set their wedding date, Daisy dropped the devastating news that Daniel might be her baby's father. The revelation left Bethany humiliated and crushed, her dreams of stability in tatters. Unable to cope with the betrayal and heartbreak, she called off the engagement and fled Weatherfield for London, vowing to start afresh. Off-screen, the storyline coincided with actress Lucy Fallon taking maternity leave. Lucy welcomed her baby daughter, Nancy Margaret, in January, a little sister for her son, Sonny Jude, and delighted fans by sharing sweet family photos, describing life with her newborn as being in a bubble. Now, Bethany makes her long-awaited return to Weatherfield, but not without drama. She's thrust straight into trouble with the law after being accused of stealing a car. In tense scenes, she confesses to Kit that she'd quit her London job in a moment of frustration, impulsively took her boss's car without asking, and drove back up north to her old stomping ground. It's exactly the kind of sticky situation where family connections might come in handy. With Bethany's mom, Sarah, still in a relationship with police officer Kit, the question is whether his notoriously flexible approach to the law will once again be put to the test. Will he risk bending the rules to protect Bethany and keep her out of court? And, of course, the biggest question of all, how will Daniel react when he lays eyes on Bethany again? Will the old spark reignite, or will her return stir up even more chaos in the already messy triangle with Daisy? Coronation Street's Noah was murdered as fans' workout killer is hiding in plain sight. Coronation Street fans are convinced they've uncovered the real truth behind Noah Headley's sudden death, and it may not have been a simple heart attack after all. Noah, who quickly established himself as one of the soap's most loathed villains, made his first appearance earlier this year when his unsettling history with scaffolder Theo Silverton was revealed. In emotional scenes, Theo confided in his new partner, Todd Grimshaw, that Noah had once been part of his church community and subjected him to horrific conversion therapy. For Theo, Noah's reappearance ripped open scars he had spent a lifetime trying to heal. To make matters worse, Noah appeared determined to make Theo's life as miserable as possible. He began dating Theo's ex-wife Danielle, stirring up resentment and suspicion. Not content with that, he also started influencing Theo's children, Millie and Miles, leaving Theo increasingly powerless and distressed. During Monday's 22nd September episode, the long-simmering tensions came to a head at the custody hearing. Noah clashed with Todd in front of the judge, needling him until Todd snapped and stormed out of the courtroom. Later that evening, back at the flat, Theo received some long-awaited good news. He'd been granted access to his kids. Overjoyed, he and Todd headed to the bistro for a celebratory dinner. But the happiness didn't last. Noah arrived uninvited and delivered a fresh blow. Danielle would be appealing the custody decision. As if that weren't enough, he laced his announcement with a string of vile homophobic remarks. Todd stood up to him, but it was Theo who finally forced Noah to leave the restaurant. The night then took a devastating turn when Danielle appeared in floods of tears, revealing that Noah had collapsed and died of a suspected heart attack. Grief quickly gave way to anger as Danielle accused Theo of being responsible, insisting that months of stress and emotional warfare had driven Noah to his death. However, many viewers aren't buying the official explanation. Fans have flooded social media with speculation that Noah was murdered and that the supposed heart attack was nothing but a cover. Some are even convinced they know exactly who the killer is. On a Corrie fan page, one viewer bluntly wrote, "Glad Noah is dead." Another insisted, "I think he was killed. I don't buy the heart attack story." A third fan suggested Danielle could be behind the shocking twist. Maybe Danielle? While another added fuel to the theory by predicting, "Yes, and she'll frame Theo for it, I think." With Theo already in the frame, thanks to Danielle's accusations and suspicion swirling among fans, the stage is set for a classic Corrie whodunit. Was Noah really killed? And if so, who's hiding in plain sight, waiting to be exposed? Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.